let's talk about the psychology of being a homebody. We're going to completely reframe what it means to love staying in and turn what some people might see as a weakness into, well, a kind of superpower.
You know that feeling, right? That little pang of guilt when you turn down an invitation for a cozy night on the couch? Maybe you've even wondered, is something wrong with me? It's so common, but the real reason you feel this way might actually surprise you.
I mean, just read that again. This one question completely flips the script. It pushes back against everything we're told about needing to be social and out there all the time. So let's dive into why this craving for home might just mean you're more in tune with yourself than you think.
All right, so let's get right into our first big idea. This isn't about making excuses for staying in. Nope. It's about really understanding the deep psychology behind why your home feels like your ultimate sanctuary. You know, society has this myth that if you stay home a lot, you must be avoiding life. But the reality is so much more profound. It's actually an act of intuitive self-regulation. Your mind and your body know exactly what they need to function at their best, and you're just smart enough to listen. So, why is home so important for this whole self-regulation thing? Well, it really all comes down to the relationship between your nervous system and, let's be honest, our pretty chaotic modern world.
For a lot of us, especially if you're a highly sensitive person or you've dealt with trauma in the past, the world outside your door can be a lot. It's just this nonstop flood of information, of noise, of energy that your system has to constantly process.
And think about where it all comes from. You've got the traffic noise, the phone that never stops buzzing, all the things you have to do, and on top of that, you're absorbing the energy of every single person you interact with. It's completely exhausting.
But at home, that's the one place where you can finally just exhale. You don't have to be on. You're not performing. You're not scanning for threats. And let me be really clear about this. That is not a weakness. It is a deep, intuitive strength to know what your body is asking for and to give it that peace.
This leads us perfectly to the next big piece of the puzzle, which is all about understanding where you get your energy from. Okay, we have got to get this right because so many people mix this up. Introversion is not the same thing as shyness. Shyness is all about a fear of being judged. Introversion, that's just about your internal battery, how it gets drained, and maybe more importantly, how it gets recharged.
And here's the simplest way to think about it. For an extrovert, being around a lot of people is like plugging their phone into a charger. It fills their battery right up. But for an introvert, solitude is the charger. Socializing, even when it's really fun, is what drains their battery.
So choosing to be alone to recharge your batteries, that has nothing to do with being antisocial. It's actually a super smart, strategic way to manage your own energy. You're just giving yourself what you need so that you can show up as your best self when you do choose to go out.
Now let's talk about the third psychological reason, and this one is just incredibly powerful. It all comes down to one word: control. And this is just so critical. If you grew up in an environment where you were always walking on eggshells or feeling like you were too much, you probably never felt a real sense of control. For you, your home today, well, it's a revolutionary space. And this is where that control gets real. At home, you decide everything. You pick the decor, you pick the playlist, you light the candles you want, and maybe most importantly of all, you control the front door. You decide whose energy gets to come into your space. So let's be really clear here. This isn't about building a fortress to hide from the world. It's about building a kingdom where you are the ruler. It's about finally getting to experience what it feels like to be truly safe and in charge of your own world, maybe for the very first time. So, we've laid out all these amazing, powerful reasons why staying home can be a sign of strength. But now, it's time to ask a tougher, more personal question.
Because here's the thing, your home can be a beautiful sanctuary, but we have to be honest, a sanctuary that protects you can, if you're not careful, start to feel more like a cage that traps you. So we've got to ask.
And this is really the moment for some honest self-reflection. Is your time at home an active, conscious choice for rest and nourishment? Or has it maybe become a habit driven by a fear of stepping out into the world? Because you absolutely can have your peace and stretch your comfort zone. The two are not mutually exclusive.
So let's wrap this all up with one final powerful reframe. The world loves to tell you that you're suffering from FOMO, the fear of missing out. But what if that's all wrong? What if you're not missing out at all? What if you're actually tuning in to yourself? And really, that's the ultimate goal here. The moment you stop trying to live at everyone else's pace, you get the freedom to find your own rhythm. You're not avoiding life. You are actively, beautifully curating a life that is sustainable, authentic, and that actually works for you.
So, I'll leave you with this. Instead of constantly asking yourself if you should go out, start asking this one simple, powerful question over and over. What does my nervous system actually need right now? Answering that honestly, well, it can and it will change your entire life.